My name's Megan Sharkey. I am recording this in October 2025. So I grew up in rural West Wales, in the middle of the countryside, surrounded by fields and close to the sea. And I think that's had a deep effect on me. It was very peaceful, and I had lots of siblings to hang out with. But we weren't in a village or, close to other houses, really. My household was very creative growing up, artistic parents, lots of freedom. So it wasn't unusual that I've kind of pursued this desire to make art, but textiles has really been the thing that's kind of stuck with me throughout. One of my first jobs was in a big textile shop, kind of Aladdin's Cave style shop when I was a teenager, and I was obsessed by fashion. So I did a couple of years working in the fashion industry, and then I sort of left it all quite dramatically and moved to Portugal, which is where I now live and have a studio. I'm focusing now on making textile art pieces that are three-dimensional and spatial. They can be quite large. I've just installed one in Wells Cathedral in Somerset that's 6 meters across, I believe. So there is a bit of a challenge with, I don't have the space to see it in its entirety, so I have to kind of guess and assume and make very educated guesses about how it will hang. That's definitely a challenge that I'm facing at the moment. Not enough space to actualize the ideas in my head. Not enough space or time. But it's fun to try and kind of pick an idea and figure out how I can make it happen, and will it work, and will it say what I want it to say or have the feeling. So that's it's the challenge, but there's lots of fun and exploration in that as well. I think if I was to give advice to my younger self, I would let her know to not worry about what other people might think or how things might turn out, just to play and make and think and write and play and make and think and write. I think I still need to take that advice. That's a kind of ongoing lesson, I believe. One of my favourite things is material exploration. So finding a material that's in abundance and maybe can be reused in a different way, and just playing with it and pushing it away from its limits of how it usually is used or how it's supposed to be used. That I find very fun. And I like how I have no idea where it might end up, because it's very much beginning with the material and seeing what comes from that. I have different times in the studio. I think there's a real beginning phase where I'm thinking and looking very hard, and during that time it's usually silence in the studio, and everything that's made is kind of can be quite unformed, maybe a bit ugly, and I don't like people to be around during that phase. It's very, the very beginnings. And then I experiment a lot, and then later when I've found something that I like and I want to kind of repeat it or do more of it or make it bigger, that's when I can relax a bit, and I tend to have music on or lots of podcasts that feed into the work. So I kind of listen to podcasts that I like a lot of science and philosophy podcasts, things that are a little bit over my head that I don't quite understand, but they do feed into the work, and in unexpected ways maybe, because the work's quite abstract. I know what's gone into it and what I'm thinking, but it's not necessarily seen from the viewer. But I want the viewer to have a chance to to take a moment, slow down, maybe have a moment of presence, of noticing, of time away from phones. And yeah, just to slow down for a second in this kind of very busy world we live in. Thank you.